gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvatyata om gati gati paragati gati bodhisvatyata om gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhisvatyata. Okay, now we will do the four seals. The four seals. So one thing that I'd like to share with you here is that what I'm sharing with you here about the emptiness, bodhicitta. Bodhicitta would be relatively fine, but emptiness is going to be the little technical, and some of you may find that it's too technical. But what I would say is that simply because it sounds technical, of course I'll try my best, try to do the best I can, not to compromise with the technicalities, and also try to make it simple. This is the attempt that I'll make. And from your side, if you find it a little technical, if you have questions, meaning say we will, of course, somebody should remind me, maybe Tamila, you can remind me of in the end, particularly the afternoon second session, we can keep 20 minutes in the end, questions session, or before we start the fourth session, we will have some question answers, right? And the question answers which are more, say, from your side coming up, whereas clarification is required, on the spot, clarification is required. Okay, you said like this, but this, I did not understand it, please clarify this. So you can ask these things on the spot. Whereas the question that you might have, okay, you said it like this, but I don't really agree with this. I have these kind of thoughts coming in me. I've seen like this, somebody said like this. So these things will be done in the end. The fourth session, 4 sessions, right? 4 sessions a day. Huh? The actual 4 sessions, yes.
Before dinner.
Huh?
Before dinner.
Okay, afternoon there's only one teaching. Okay, only one teaching, afternoon. No, from 3 to 5. 3 to 5 means 2 hours. Okay. 3 to 6, which means 2 sessions. Okay, 3 to 6 means 2 sessions. If that is the thing, then the fourth session, before we start the class, we'll do a little bit of question answers, and then we'll switch to the actual teaching. Okay. So the point that I'm saying here is that, believe it or not, that even if you find it a little technical, what I would suggest is just pay attention to what is being shared on the spot, right? And it's technical, I could not follow this, and then just the shutting down, closing up yourself. Don't do that. Just pay attention, and then don't worry. Even if you think that nothing is really getting into your head, don't worry. Actually, you are getting a lot. How do I know this? Through my own personal experience. In my monastery, when I was, I think which year, the 10th year, 11th year, so I was not really, the below average student. I was not really below average, maybe average or average above, whatever. So I could really catch what the teacher's teaching. And one time, I joined a class which is 1 year senior to me. I joined that class because I was so keen to learn more. I joined the class, and to my surprise, what the teacher was teaching, I could not follow anything. I could not follow anything. To the best I could, I was paying attention. yet I could not follow anything. And the teacher was, of course, the subject is a very different subject, and this is actually not my level. It was 1 year ahead. And still I went there with the permission from my teacher. I couldn't follow it. And the teacher was teaching in such a detailed explanation, with debates, explanation, and so forth. And the students are asked questions, and the students, they're giving answers, who were 1 year senior to me, giving answers. And they were asking questions back to the teacher was giving answers, the teacher was asking, how come that? So this topic, this subject is actually something which is not really my cup of tea. This was what thought they came in me. Then I almost lost my confidence. Then after about 2 months, another teacher of mine, he was giving this teaching on the same subject, but very fast, very quick. I went there. You wouldn't believe. That time, he was not going through detailed explanations, not going through question answers. He was just reading through and explaining very quickly. And I could follow everything. Then I realized, okay, is it because that this teacher, second teacher, teaches more skillfully? No. It's going so fast. Impossible, And then I realized that, okay, during the first teacher, because he was teaching such a detailed thing, although I could not grab at what he was teaching, but because I paid a lot of attention to this, it has planted the seed. When you plant the seed is not visible on the surface, right? Only when the water comes, then the seed grows, the shoot comes out, then it's visible. So with the second teacher, because the seed was already there, then the shoot started to come out, then I started to understand things, right? It becomes so easy. You're getting it? Okay. So then with this experience that I had myself, I'm so happy, very confidently, I share with other people that even though technical things, it is very precious that we're learning these technical things, which are so precious, and each one of us, we have the capacity to know these things. Initial phase always is planting the seed. Planting the seed means it's not visible on the surface, right? So you feeling that, no, I don't understand anything, which you're expecting something coming on the surface, like the green shoot coming. If you want to plant the seed, don't expect a green shoot. If you expect a green shoot, it's very unrealistic, right? Okay, we all have the capacity to know this. Believe it or not, take this as an opportunity. If you want it technical, take this as an opportunity for you to see them as, okay, now I'm planting seed. Next time, attend the same retreat, the same teaching, see how it works. You wouldn't believe that it was very easy. In fact, the people who attend, who do the Master's course, right? Everywhere I travel, Singapore, Malaysia, France, when I ask questions, people who do the Master's course, they have very precise answers. Not because they are the Master's course people, they are more bright. No, because they already learned all these things, right? So now it's the time for them to see the shoot coming out, right? So therefore, all of us, we should never underestimate our potential. We all have the potential, right? We all have the potential. So therefore, in the retreat, usually the retreat that I do, Bodhicitta retreat, this is quite technical. The topics are quite technical, although the title is very simple, Bodhicitta retreat. But the subject being covered is a huge, massive subject being covered within a short amount of time. So, therefore, but I never say that only the students who already have background in Buddhism can attend it, otherwise they're not. I never lay this condition. Even some centers, when they know that what we teach is something very sophisticated, technical, some of the centers, they ask me if this should be condition laid. I said, please don't do it. I say the condition that I would ask for is that the person should have an eagerness to learn. One, not necessarily that a person should have the knowledge about Buddhism, no need. Eagerness should be learned, and the consistency that the person should be in the retreat throughout. Right? Then the person will know whether when a good person can, he or she has the potential just by the 2-3 days. But sometimes exceptions always there, right? They who are so keen but who cannot come for the full retreat, then I say come. Right? Okay. So the point is, what I'm saying is, we all have the capacity to know this. Know however technical the concepts are, we all have the capacity to know this one. Number 2, give yourself little time for the seed to go in. When the seed is there, then the next time the sprout is bound to grow. You will see the sprout. Then you will feel the joy. Right? Okay. This is what I'm sharing with you. Okay. With this, the Buddha said one thing. In Tibetan, dangi going shen sushi gondo gyu, dangi lebar tubeni kebe tori toba gyu. Okay. You are the benefactor, you are the master of yourself. Who else is there as your master? The one who tames one's mind is the wise and will be liberated. Let me say this again. You are the benefactor of yourself. Who else is there as your benefactor? You are the benefactor of yourself. Second line. Who else is there as your benefactor? Number 3. The one who tames his mind, the one who tames his or her mind well, the one who tames his or her mind well, the next line, is the wise and will be liberated from suffering. Okay, so the Buddha is saying that everyone has the potential to be the benefactor. Benefactor means the ability to benefit yourself. Benefit yourself perfectly, liberate yourself perfectly. Everyone has that capacity. So in line with this, in line with what the Buddha taught, this stanza, I always tell people that we should have, two guidelines of a life. 2 guidelines of a life. 1, be kind to yourself. Very simple guidelines. 1, be kind to yourself. Number 2, be wisely kind to yourself. Okay, this seems simple, yet is very comprehensive, right? In fact, we can see that whatever we're going to learn, very sophisticated philosophy, psychology, all will come under this. And yet, we can understand in very simple terms as well. Okay, what do you mean by be kind to yourself? The Buddha said, you are the benefactor of yourself. Who else is there as your benefactor? Meaning that finally you should be able to liberate yourself. You'll be able to benefit yourself. How? Be kind to yourself. Meaning, what do you want? What do you mean by kind? Kind meaning how the mother is kind towards the child. How the father is kind towards the child. By the child, whatever the child needs, okay, tell me. How many of you, when you were age...
Good condition, love. Yeah.
Yes, say, how many of us, when you were age 5, 6, 7, you received the thought of the separation from your parents is very painful. When you were age 5, 6, 7. Raise your hands. Bilala? Yes? Okay. Tomar? Yes, the... Tomar?
I don't remember.
Okay. Okay. Hari?
Yeah.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
So we talk about attachment?
No. The feeling of love and affection. So that feeling of love and affection, but this attachment, not this is a different discussion. Right? Okay. Feeling of love and affection. Okay, tell me. Why do you feel so connected with your mother at this age? Why? Why don't you want to see your mother getting separate from you for even for the next 5 hours? Half a day. Why? Dependency. So, say, but we also...
We cannot get along without her. When we are 4 or 5, we need everything from her.
Exactly, right? So when we want happiness, we want to be protected from the threats. And who does that? Your parents do that. You getting it? So that is the source of your happiness. That is the source of protection. So this is what is meant by my parents are kind to me. When you say this, likewise, be kind to yourself. It means give yourself what you want, happiness, and get rid of the suffering which you don't want. This is the meaning of be kind to yourself. Number 2, how? How to be kind to myself? How to give maximum happiness to myself? How to get rid of all my fears? The second line, be wisely kind to yourself. Meaning, do those things which actually give rise to happiness. Do those things which actually get rid of your miseries. Otherwise, many of us, what we tend to do is that we do those things which actually attract miseries. We, for example, say, I don't know about the girls, the boys, maybe, okay, they say you feel so tired, and then you may have a little conflict with your wife, the family, right? And then, okay, I went to the Kibbutz Bodhicitta for the Bodhicitta retreat, right? And he said, be wisely, be kind to yourself. Okay, there's so much of mess in my family, so I'm unhappy, so I like to get rid of my mental tension, so I'll drink alcohol. This is being very unwisely kind to yourself. This is not wisely kind to yourself, right? So it can lead you to addiction, right? And then all the worst of the miseries will befall on you, right? So therefore, be wisely kind to yourself means do those things which actually give rise to happiness. Do those things which will actually get rid of miseries. And technically speaking, what have you learned thus far? Technically speaking, what helps you to get rid of all your miseries? The wisdom of emptiness. Embrace wisdom of emptiness. And what attracts all the happiness, infinite happiness? Unconditional love of Bodhicitta. Embrace unconditional love. If you do those 2 things, this is the wisest way by which to be kind to yourself. You're getting it? Embrace the wisdom of emptiness to get rid of all your fears, and to practice the Bodhicitta to acquire the maximum happiness. As simple as that. Okay. So with this in mind, we will do the 4 seals. The 4 seals. Okay. The 4 seals of the Buddha's teaching. The 4 seals of the Buddha's teaching. Okay, 4 seals we already enumerated this morning. What are the 4 seals? All composite things impermanent. All contaminated things are of suffering nature. Nature of suffering, suffering nature. Number 3. Everything is of the nature of emptiness and selflessness, and transcending sorrow is absolute peace. Okay, so these 4 things, if we think that we are following Tibetan Buddhism, Chinese Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism, as long as you are following authentic Buddhism, these 4 must be on our fingertips. It's not that only if you follow Tibetan Buddhism, you have to know these 4, otherwise you don't have to. It is not true. All traditions, you have to have these 4 on your fingertips. Okay, the first one. All composite things are impermanent. All composite things are impermanent. Impermanence is of 2 kinds. Gross and the subtle. Gross and the subtle impermanence. Okay, when the Buddha said all composite things are impermanent, Buddha is referring to the subtle impermanence. But we have to know both gross impermanence and the subtle impermanence. And the Buddha Buddha very clearly taught that of all the footprints, the footprint of the elephant is the most majestic. Of all the meditations, the meditation on impermanence is the supreme. This is what the Buddha said. Let us not forget this. This is extremely important on the teaching of the Buddha. Of all the footprints, the footprints of the elephant is the most majestic. And of all the meditations, the meditation on impermanence is the supreme. You getting it? And, okay, my question to you. If you agree with what the Buddha taught, of course, what the Buddha taught, then what about the meditation on emptiness? So this, since this morning, since yesterday, we have been emphasizing so much on the importance of the wisdom of emptiness. And yet the Buddha said that for all the meditations, including the meditation on emptiness, the supreme of all is the meditation on impermanence. You getting it? Okay, why? So why? Why do you think? Because to be very honest, of all the paths, the Buddha taught, that there can be, all the paths the Buddha taught can be summarized into two. The liberating path, the path which liberates you, and the paths which ripen you to reach to the liberating path. Ripening paths and the liberating path, two. It is only the wisdom of emptiness which is the liberating path. To liberate you from miseries, it is only the wisdom of emptiness. Whereas the Buddha said, of all the meditations, meditation on impermanence is the supreme.
This is the first part, the ripening part, the impermanence.
Good. But the question still remains that the wisdom of emptiness is what actually liberates you. So that should be the supreme of all the meditations. But the Buddha said the supreme of all the meditation is the meditation of impermanence.
Do you think 1,000 years it's impermanent?
Sorry?
1,000 years.
1,000 years.
It's impermanent?
1,000 years.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
1,000 שנים. זה דבר עילאי? כן?
Okay, why anyone?
You can't understand emptiness if you don't meditate. This is
I know you can understand. You can understand emptiness even without impermanence meditation. You can,
Yes.
right? Why the meditation impermanence is the supreme? Why?
It's the base of it.
Huh?
It's the base of it.
Based in what way? Answer is very good. But my next question, in what way? How is the basis of everything? Very good answer given.
If you're not understanding this, you can't understand.
How? Understanding wise is not true. Even if you don't, impermanence, even if you don't pay attention to this, you can just study emptiness. I would say that still you can understand emptiness.
But not to know
But,
it.
huh?
But not to realize it.
You can realize. I'm pretty sure you can realize. But you said this word, this is very precious. It is the basis. Is it the base? In what way is it base? In what?
If you don't,
What is there is connection between dependent arising and impermanent, isn't it?
And there is connection, yes, there's connection. But what I said is that even without focusing on impermanence, right? Just focus on dependent origination, focus on emptiness, still you can get emptiness. Why the meditation on impermanence is considered as the supreme of all meditation? Yes.
Maybe because it's the base of unconnecting to anything.
Huh?
Unconnecting to anything. When you grasp something
Ah.
and then you let it go.
It's
This is the
unattachment.
Non-attachment? Okay, yes. So why do we need that?
Patience
Why do we
and
need that?
compassion.
Huh?
Patience and compassion. It's including in impermanence. Yep.
That's fine, but so why impermanence is considered as most important?
Because the deluded mind, because this without it,
Without wisdom emptiness also due to
You
mind
not
same?
connect.
Huh?
You connect. You do more in connected.
Yes.
You are connected, but you do more.
Okay, you do more. Yes, how? Okay, now the two answers are coming close. One is that it serves as a basis, and you do more. How? Anyone? Okay, I'll give you one example, right? Yes.
Maybe it helps us to understand that things doesn't exist objectively.
Okay. So what I would say is, yes, even if you don't think about impermanence, if you just study emptiness directly, still I would say that then you can understand the emptiness of objective existence, even though you may not think about impermanence as much, right? Okay, now listen. I'll give one example. Find what's the goal. Why do we have to study emptiness? Why do we have to meditate emptiness? Why? What for?
To cut the roots of suffering.
To cut your suffering, right? To cut your suffering or achieve nirvana, achieve Buddhahood, and so forth, right? Okay, let's say that, okay, let's say that, okay, if there is a scorpion, or if I see a snake, right, say there, far away, and slowly moving from far away, right? Okay, I will say, okay, the Izigla, oh, there's a snake there, would you mind removing it, right? Okay, and so eventually I have to go out. I have to go out, and if he doesn't remove that, I'll be in trouble, right? Okay. Number two is, if the snake is here, right, next to me, okay, Izila, would you mind removing the snake? While I say this, or I'll jump. Right, I'll jump. When it's far away, I'll not jump. When I see nearby, I'll jump. I have no time to even call Izigla.
So
Right?
it helps us think about death, and that's why they motivate us to study.
Exactly, right? So finally, gate should happen, right? Go. Now you have to jump, right? Jump into dharma, jump into enlightenment. Unless you don't jump, what's the point, right? Even if you see beautiful Mount Kailash there, if you don't move, right, you will never reach there. So therefore there must be a driving force to make you go there. Sense of urgency is required. Sense of urgency. So the meditation on impermanence will give us a sense of urgency. Right? Without the meditation impermanence, we'll feel, okay, relax, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Let's wait till next Bodhicitta retreat. Right? Without sense of urgency, this is the problem. So the meditation impermanence will give a sense of urgency. Sense of urgency will make you to jump into the gati. Gati, movement happens. So movement will actually give rise to your desired goal.
Why is impermanence give me the motivation
Urgency.
to run, and the emptiness, the meditation on emptiness doesn't give me the move to run?
Very good. Okay. So impermanence, with impermanence means changing. Impermanence of death. Right?
So tomorrow I may die.
I may die tomorrow, right? I have no time. With emptiness, yes, everything's empty true existence, right? Tomorrow is truly empty of true existence. I am today also truly empty of true existence, same. But I'm happy today, tomorrow also I can be happy when I'm too optimistic. But I'm happy today, I'm alive, but tomorrow I may disappear, right? So I have to do it right now. So a sense of urgency, which is so precious. Okay, Ari?
Now and here.
Now and here, yes. Now and here. So,
Does it assume that I've already meditated about precious human rigor?
okay, so the point is all composite things impermanent. Then, so within this practice, then the second point, the first and the second combine together. What is the second one? All contaminated things are suffering nature, right? Suffering nature. So these two combined together, combine together. Impermanence. Impermanence means I will die. You will die, and then I will die, and where will I go?